Hey, how are you?
Good. How are you, Liz? Good to see you.
Awesome. Super sunny. I've been solar charging. So I call when
Nice.
I go outside more, do stuff.
Oh, that makes sense. And you're not only solar charging, but you're getting your vitamin D, which is also a very good thing too.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it helps as far as keeping you high with your productivity. Even sunlight is good about helping us calm down because we get grounded, which is a good thing.
Yeah, I think we should talk about that today, maybe. Like, why do people need to calm down? Like, what are we hearing that people are like complaining about? Like, what stresses are super common? Um, like what can we do, or what can we talk to the world about that would be supportive of like calm down. It's going to be okay. Here's a method. Here's something you can do at your home. It doesn't need to be super expensive. What can you do when you're like feeling really stressed and you need to calm down? And when I think of that, so I'll say what I think and then you
Yeah,
share whatever
yeah,
you think
totally.
too.
I would
So,
love to hear. And like everyone, whatever works for us and you, like that's the best thing. So yeah, what's some of the things?
so I'd say what I hear most commonly with different people is like, what is the most stressful thing? Being on top of your to-dos. I mean,
Right?
you guys, like, okay, say say we put this live Facebook or wherever, right? It's like
Hmm.
whoever's on here, tell us, is there something more stressful in your life than being on top of your to-dos? And I would say, please don't include something like medical issue that is not something controllable. This is like things that like, hey, it's really stressful. I want to find a way that is like realistic. I can actually find a way to fix this, right?
Right.
So being on top of your to-dos, we can find a way as long as we like know a person enough, right?
Hmm. Definitely.
Um,
Which I like when you're mentioning like being on top of your to-dos, it's like something that we can totally control as well. Because obviously there's going to be stressors, like you're saying, like a medical stress that maybe is out of your control. It's like the best thing you can do then is say, okay, what is one thing I can do today that might move me closer to a goal I have, or being able to feel like I can have some kind of normality or control in the situation that can help us kind of calm down. So I think that approach is definitely helpful. And obviously, there's so many things going on in our brain when we're dealing with anxiety or stress, and there's something called like an amygdala hijack can take over when you go from using your prefrontal cortex part of your brain where it's like that rational thinking and you're able to have like that control of all the processes, that regulation. And then when the amygdala takes over, which it can happen easily when you're stressed out or you feel like you are not in your calming state, that now you're more reactive and it's got like that fight or flight side of things. And basically, you don't have a lot of that regulation taking place anymore. And so you're kind of in emotionally charged situations. You're going to notice that that happens. So you don't have as good thought processes happening. So looking for ways to say, okay, what happens even to my brain when I'm not in a calming place, or how it has a lot of negative effects is something that I'm thinking about. I know when I'm really stressed out. And so something super simple, which everyone's always like, okay, how do I avoid that? You can tell me what's happening when my brain's under stress, but just tell me what to do to like fix the problem. Um, Something I don't know a lot of people realize about, but when you're really stressed out and you're not having a lot of that regulation that needs to take place in your prefrontal cortex, within your amygdala, all that kind of craziness going on in the brain, it actually causes an increase in your cortisol level, which ends up damaging brain cells in the hippocampus, which I love the hippocampus because it's like that part of the brain where your learning and your memory takes place. I love that word anyway because it's like thinking about a hippo going to school every time I hear that word. Um, but you're thinking, okay, so if I'm going to have a high cortisol level because I'm stressed or I'm not calm, and so I'm damaging my brain cells and that part of the brain that helps with learning and memory and all of that, because it's now decreasing. It's like, what's one easy thing you could possibly do? We'll get this. Something simple. Sip some water. Hmm. You would want to drink a little bit of water. Can you believe that? Something like that, Liz. So you might be
so
thinking,
easy.
oh, right? So you're like, okay, why? What if I sip some water? What's gonna happen? Well, it'll naturally decrease cortisol levels, but
Mhm.
water in general, so many people unfortunately are dealing with dehydration, and that's got its own effect on our bodies. But obviously, if you are hydrated, then you're going to be able to focus better. You're going to be have more alertness. Productivity is going to be higher. So now, when you talked about even tackling that to-do list or having a list of things that you want to be able to get accomplished, well, if you have a lot of cortisol going on because you're not calm, and then you decide to drink some water, and that will help decrease some of that cortisol levels. And then also, it's going to give you that focus and alertness that you might need to be able to tackle some of that to-do list. So I don't know if you have any water close to you, but I would say drink a little water.
Yeah, so I want to piggyback off of that a little bit, how you're talking about water and so why it's so important when you're trying to focus. So like actually what I was learning is that like the first thing that's going to decrease when you're being dehydrated or lack of water at all is focus. So if you want to focus, you need lots of water. So just do it. And I actually, for a while, I had a little blinky thing. It literally would just like flash every, I don't know how long, but every X amount of time it would flash if I hadn't drank out of the bottle because it had a thing in it where it would flip it. So if you flip it, it will reset it. But if you don't
Wow.
flip it, then it's going to flash at you. So then that was a way that I was like trying to get a routine where it's like, for me, I really need something right where I need it. So
Hmm.
that might sound like, what is she talking about? Puts like have something where you need it, but it's like if I have a struggle with something, I know that where I'm having that struggle is where I need the solution. So for me, if my struggle is drinking water, then the solution to drinking water has to be on that water that I'm drinking, right? So it has to be that flashing light or a beeper or an alarm or something that is connected to the thing I need to do it with. Otherwise, how am I going to get myself to go and do that thing on a big list, right? So if I have it where I need it, if I have the method where I need it, the reminder or whatever it is, I can do it. Um, so anyway, for me with the water and caring a lot about focusing, then that's something I've done is like the little light. Anybody can do that. You can just glue a little thing on any of your water bottles or whatever. But yes, and then also with your brain being able to focus and like electrolytes and everything else going on, like you definitely need that. And talking about focused and calm, right? Like if you're stressed, you are not calm. If you're stressed, you are not focused because you are not calm. So, like, why does a business person care about going into having like a meditative state or self-care or being calm or taking a break effectively or even at all or taking a vacation other than of course we want to have fun, but like if you're really like I'm really more about my business than fun, you still need to have calm. Why? Because that is the only way you can have focus. You cannot have focus without calm until you learn all the skills of how to be focused through anything and be calm through anything, right? So, resting to rejuvenate, drinking that water so that you're able to focus, and first off, knowing how to be calm. Um, so really cool. What would you say, any specific things you want to share of like how to be calm naturally?